What's up, my guys?
And welcome back, y'all. I'm your host, Cody, and this is John.
Hey, Cody, you know what day it is?
What?
I said, do you know what day it is?
What?
Brother, do you know what day it is?
What?
Man, it's Stone Cold Day, brother. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
And there we go.
Oh, let's go. Hey, happy 316, everybody. Happy 316. And this is the Wrasslin report card. Hey, shout out to my guy John for coming on the show, even though he came out looking like an elongated Mick Foley. But that's not his fault, okay? That's just the way he was born. And thankfully, we got through that on the first take, because if we had to get to like take 4 or 5, yeah, Cody wouldn't have been doing no report card tonight, brother. I tell you that much. So, for those of y'all that don't know, what we do on this show is I take a wrestling show, I break down each match, I give it a letter grade, and at the end, I tally them some bitches up to give that show its own report card. So tonight, we're talking the March 15th, the Ides of March, AEW Dynamite, and this episode was action-packed. You had MJF's Re-Barmitzvah, yes, you heard that right, to start the show, where you had a few surprise guests run out, and they ruined my guy's birthday celebration. Like, how y'all gonna do that to him? Plus, in the main event, you had a banger of a Trios triple threat match, as you had the House of Black defending the Trios championships against both the Elite and the Jericho Society, and we're in Winnipeg, Canada, where both Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega was from, so you know that crowd was lit. You had a reunion at the end. You had a huge woman's debut, maybe she'll be in AEW moving forward, come out. Jade Cargill came in 53-0. Did she leave 54-0? And then you had another good trios match, as you had John Moxley and the Combat Club going up against Hangman Page and the Dark Order, and that was hard hitting. You already know that. Well, I hope all you left your ice cold Steve Weisers out for Stone Cold in the morning. There's going to be hell to pay, brother. So without further ado, go ahead, buckle up your seatbelt, and let's get to grading, my guy. And we're getting tonight started off with the AEW champion MJF's Re-Barmitzvah again. You heard that right. And I'm not even gonna... Y'all know how Max does. Just go look up the intro to this, okay? I promise you'll be entertained. So this fool comes out in Canada dressed like that, and the first thing he said was, no wonder Canadians are dumb. Y'all actually thought Bret Hart was entertaining? We all know Shawn was better, and you just know he got the heat from there on out. But enough of that. It's Re-Barmitzvah time, baby. MJF's out there, he's celebrating, and as he was being hoisted up in the chair, that disrespectful little punk Jungle Boy Jack decided to come out and ruin everybody's fun. And then right when he started to talk, Sammy Guevara's music hit. He comes out, he gets on the mic, but when he tried to talk, boom, Darby Allin's music hit. Out comes that crazy son bitch, and by God, we got ourselves a real party going on in the middle of the ring. So MJF gets on the mic and says, why are all three of y'all crashing my Re-Barmitzvah? Then they all said simultaneously, I want a title shot. So Jungle Boy got on the mic, he said his piece first. Then Sammy got on the mic and said, shut up, Max, before I turn this Re-Barmitzvah into a recircumcision, my guy. And I'm not gonna lie, it was some good stuff from Sammy tonight. But next was Darby Allin's turn, and where the hell has this been, my guy? One thing I have always said is that MJF brings out the best in Darby Allin every single time. After all three of them said their piece, though, MJF got back on the mic and said, oh, y'all want to turn MJF up in this bitch? Bet. This fool started going in on him. He really had me dying when he said, oh, and here's Sammy, I'm going to propose to a new girlfriend in 7 months, Guevara. MJF then reminded us that he has beaten all three of them in singles competition separately, so none of them deserve a title shot. I mean, he's got a point there. So Max then kindly asked for the other three gentlemen to leave, and okay, maybe he gave Jungle Boy a little shove, but I mean, who's going to judge, okay? But that unleashed absolute chaos in the ring, brother. Everyone just started throwing down, and as they were brawling, they ended up knocking MJF off the ring apron right into his Re-Barmitzvah cake face first. Like, how are y'all gonna do that to my guy on his birthday? Now, one thing I want to pay attention is we know last week the ratings were like under 900,000, no MJF. Now this week with a whole week, you know, promoting MJF, let's see if the ratings go back up, because I think MJF is a draw. Some people don't. For that opening segment, I thought it was awesome. I'm gonna give it an A-, but we gotta keep moving on, because up next, we got our first match of the night, and it's some trios action, baby. It's John Moxley, Claudio, and Yuta going up against Hangman Page and the Dark Order. Now, first things first, rest in peace to Brody Lee, man. We really miss you down here, my guy. And was Winnipeg fired up for the return of Stu Grayson, or what? That son bitch came in and it just started going crazy, well, until the Combat Club gave him a spike pile driver out there on the floor. That really slowed his ass down before the break. And if that wasn't enough, after the break, Mox hit him with a second pile driver. But that Stu Grayson, he suffered a $2 steak. I tell you what, he not only kicked out, he got up, answered with a huge knee. Then, for the first time in the match, Hangman Page tagged him. And I tell you what, that sumbitch came in guns blazing. Hangman came in, hit a giant powerbomb. Uno answered with a swanton. Then came in Claudio with a giant Euro uppercut. Next thing you know, we got Hangman and Moxley smack dab in the ring. Now, as the ref was over there dealing with Mox, Wheeler Yuta snuck up, clocked Hangman with the ring bell. Then Stu and Odo started to put up a great fight, damn near picking up the 3 count on Moxley with the fatality. But at the last possible second, it came Yuta for the save. But remember, you still got Hangman Page out cold after getting attacked by that ring bell. Thanks, Wheeler Yuta. So the Dark Order was outnumbered 3-2, and eventually it ended up catching up to him. Claudio tagged in. He came in with another massive Euro, which landed poor Stu Grayson right into the waiting arms of Jon Moxley. He put that sumbitch in the Bulldog chokehold, and that was all she wrote, my guy. Then once again, after the match, Moxley kept choking him out, which led to the rest of the Dark Order coming out and having to run him off. So I love this heel turn that we're doing for Moxley and the rest of the Combat Club. For that match right there, it was hard hitting, physical, and Moxley didn't bleed. I had to pinch myself, make sure nothing crazy was happening. I'm going to slap an A- on that sumbitch, and then we're going to jump over to the women's division. Last week on Dynamite, 53-0, your TBS champ, Jade Cargill, came out and said, hey, since we're going to be in lame-ass Canada next week, let's see what they have to offer. I'll issue an open challenge to any Canadian women's competitor for my TBS title. And after the long-awaited wait, tonight we find out that it is answered by none other than Nicole Matthews. I ain't gonna lie, brother. Before anyone could even blink, the champ hit the Jaded and got the 1-2-3, and now Jade Cargill is 54-0. So after the match, Renee Paquette went in to interview Jade, but Jade said, aren't you from Canada too? She started getting up in her face, back at her in the corner before she started laughing. Jade got back on the mic and said, is that all y'all have to offer Canada? Is this your king? When the next thing you know, the new free agent, Taya Valkyrie music hit. She came down and hell yeah, brother. After a very intense stare down, Jade ended up leaving. Now her girl tried to blindside Valkyrie, but Ty ended up meeting her with a massive right, and then she hit the Jaded on her, and by God, it looks like we're gonna have a couple of big sweaty women ready to slap chick meat, damn it. Now I'm really hyped for this right here. I don't know much about Taya Valkyrie, but when she stepped up to Jade, she sized up with it pretty well, and that's something we haven't really seen in AEW so far. So for that right there, I'm gonna slap a B on that sumbitch, and then we're gonna jump to our next title match where you got the new international champ, is that what we're calling it now? Orange Cassidy going up against J-E-F-F, J-A-R-R-E-T-T. It's Jeff Jarrett. Ain't he great, man? Now don't forget, Orange Cassidy came in with a bum left knee, and Double J took full advantage. Add in the mind games, and now the champ's in a little bit of trouble, my guy. So we come back from the break. Double J went for the figure 4 when he said, nope, we in Canada. He turned that sumbitch around and put him in the sharpshooter. Then Cassidy countered. He had a sharpshooter of his own, and you know the people of Winnipeg was loving it, my guy. Now, Double J didn't come down to the ring alone, and the 7'4" Satnam Singh, he made his presence known multiple times. I tell you what, and just when you thought things couldn't get worse, as Cassidy and Jarrett were brawling in the ring, they ended up knocking the ref out. So now Sanjay Dutton threw in Double J's guitar, but thankfully down came Audrey to straighten it all out. Now, as her and Jeff Jarrett were arguing, Cassidy ended up grabbing that guitar, but that giant Satnam Singh reached over the top rope and just took it out of his hands. So check this, while Aubrey was still turned around, Orange Cassidy paid homage to the late great Eddie Guerrero as he just fell down to the mat. And when Aubrey turned back around, Satnam Singh was just standing there, guitar in hand, looking guilty as hell with his big ass. So she ended up booting both of them from the ring and escorted them out. Now at this time, Jay Lethal snuck in with that Golden Globe and ended up clocking Cassidy's clock with it. Now the first ref was back up, and when he turned around, Double J was making the cover and was this close to pulling it off. But Orange Cassidy, he's the champ for a reason, damn it. He not only kicked out, that sumbitch got up, hit him with a DDT before loading up a dose of that orange punch, and ain't nobody kicking out of that, my guy. He got the 1-2-3, retains that international championship, and that's what I like to see right there. First things first, Jeff Jarrett is almost 65 years old and is still competing. That was a solid match right there. And I just found it funny that Tony Khan went and renamed this belt last week the International Championship. And then the first match of this title's history is between two Americans. That was funny, but hey, that match was really good though. I'm gonna slap a B+ on that sumbitch. Now we're jumping back over to the women's division. You got Ruby Soho, Saraya, and Toni Storm making their way down to the ring. They got the new group, the new theme, the new name. They're the Outcasts, and they mean business, brother. They came out and said there wouldn't even be an AEW women's division if it weren't for them coming over, from WWE. Then Toni Storm got on the mic, started listing off all the people that they have ran through, which included Britt Baker and the champ Jamie Hayter. And right when they said those two names, out they ran. And okay, this part doesn't make sense. Hayter and Baker ran out to 2-on-3 odds. They got handled, obviously. And then 3 other chicks ran out to go help them. Like, what? I know y'all saw each other back there in the gorilla. Why didn't y'all just wait and go jump them together? That makes much more sense to me. Hey, what I know, I'm just a dumb from Oklahoma. Now, I'm gonna slap a B- on that sumbitch. I actually have been a fan of this group since the beginning, but let's be honest, there's been room for improvement, but I do think tonight was a step in the right direction. Well, that's enough of the talk, because it's time for the main event. You got AEW Trios Gold on the line, as you got the House of Black defending against the Elite and the Jericho Society. Now with both Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega throwing down in their hometown, you know this Winnipeg crowd was a rockin' and a rollin', my guy. The only thing more lit in Canada is when you're at a Celine Dion concert with a fifth of that Crown Maple, brother. I tell you what. Yes, sir. That's what we call hootenanny down here in Oklahoma, brother. Anyways, early on in the match, you got Chris Jericho and Malachi Black circling each other, where Kenny Omega reached over, tagged himself in, and this crowd started going crazy because you had Omega and Jericho in the middle of the ring. But before anything could happen, the House of Black came in, wiping both guys out, and then we went into an all-out brawl before the break. After returning from the commercial break, these 9 men were just going crazy. I tell you what, it started off, Nick Jackson got a hot tag, and then finally Kenny Omega tagged in, and you know how that story goes, my guy. Snapdragons, moonsaults, bears, oh my. He ended up sending Buddy Matthews flying over into Jericho's corner, and finally, it's Omega, it's Jericho, it's Winnipeg, damn it. After the Young Bucks had a super kick party on everyone's candy asses, we come back from the last commercial break to see Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega throwing down. Then up on one of the turnbuckles, Danny Garcia hit one of the Young Bucks with a massive superplex. Then on the other one, Sammy Guevara hit the other one with the Spanish fly. Then with Brody King up on the ropes, both Kenny Omega and Jericho hopped up and both of them superplexed that big sumbitch. I shit you not, that stadium had to have registered on the Richter scale up there in Winnipeg. But as everyone was going crazy, boom, Y2J hit back-to-back code breakers. Sammy followed up with a beautiful shooting star press and was this close to pulling it off, but they forgot about the House of Black, which is a terrible mistake, by the way. They came in, laid out Sammy, and just threw him in the corner to Jericho. And you know Jericho's crazy ass ain't gonna back down from nobody. Hell, he tried to fact Brock Lesnar back in the day. Anyways, the House of Black landed the Dante's Inferno on Jericho. Omega broke it up. Sammy hit another shooting star, this time laying everyone out ringside, but back in the ring, Jericho went for the Judas effect. Malachi intercepted with the Black Mask, and poor Danny Garcia, he caught himself at the bad place at a bad time. He got hit with the Dante's Inferno, and ain't nobody kicking out of that, my guy. After the match, Jake Hager came down. He started brawling with the House of Black. Then from the back, out came Hangman, who was still going at it with Mox and him, outnumbered 3-1. Hangman backpedaled all the way into the ring, so Mox, Claudio, and Yuta got up onto the ring apron, was about to jump him, when by God, behind Hangman Page come his old longtime friends, the Elite, and is the reunion real? What's gonna happen? I know they're teasing Kenny Omega going back into singles competition. Are we gonna have Hangman Page going with the Bucks? I don't know, but that was lit. That crowd went crazy. It cut off kind of suddenly at the end, but that was a great episode of Dynamite, a great main event right there. Of course, I'm gonna slap an A+ on that sumbitch, and y'all know what time it is. We got all the grades in. Now let's take a look at the report card. After tallying everything up, we came out with a final letter grade of A B+, that's right, in 89%. Great episode of Dynamite right there. They really bounced back from that episode last week. Happy birthday to MJF. Happy 316 day to everybody. Don't forget to chug a beer, smash some glass. Other than that, I'm your host, Cody. If y'all haven't already subscribed to the channel, you could even like the video. It won't hurt you. Or comment, tell me how dumb I am. Also, shout out to Bobby Knifehawk. Go follow him on SoundCloud. I'm going to sign off, though. I hope all you folks stay safe and have a nice day.